Hello folks, Jason Chrisman here of JC's Bees. It's been a busy fall for me, trying to get the bees ready for winter and all the other animals. Behind me here you can see Norm, my Jersey bull calf, and I'm out in his pasture doing a couple things today. But I wanted to take a couple minutes and tell you about what I did last week. Last week I did an open feeding experiment. This is where I set large quantities of food, sugar water, outside for the bees to get to. Now, a lot of beekeepers are against this method because they believe that you're just causing robbing. You're also not feeding necessarily just your bees. You're feeding all the feral bees and everybody else's beehives in the area. I can't disagree with that too much. You probably are feeding a lot of the other bees. But at the same time, this experiment taught me a lot. The hives that I was intending to feed did gain weight, in which I made note of this at the end of the video. But check it out, see what you think. Okay, what you're seeing here is sugar syrup, 75 pounds. We got 50 pounds of sugar, 25 pounds of water. That would be a 2-to-1 mixing ratio, which is what you want in fall. And then what I have here is some dry hay. Not straw, hay is what I have. I'm going to take the hay and we're going to push it down in this syrup, and that's going to keep the bees from drowning. Okay folks, at the farm, which is about 1/8 of a mile from the house, I've brought up this tote and the hay, and I've got it set up roughly 150-200 yards from my beehives. If you look down to the bottom of the hill there, you're going to see this little structure here. My beehives are another 25 yards on the other side of that. So we're fairly good distance away. We got sun blasting. It's going to be a beautiful day, and hopefully the bees will be able to suck that down and get the food and nutrition they need to make it through winter. I packed in a little bit of extra hay, pushed it down into the sugar water. I'm going to leave the little trailer or wagon here, and I'll come back up in a little bit. Right now it's just a little bit after 8 o'clock. Okay, the first thing I want to do is apologize for the wind. It's now the following morning after I put this tub of 75 pounds of syrup out for open feeding, and I actually brought a bucket up on the ATV, and I was planning on taking the syrup in the tote, pouring it back in the bucket, way it didn't go to waste during the rain. And then after the rain we've got a few cold days, so I don't really see a whole lot of flying. So I was planning to put it back in the bucket and go around and fill frame feeders. When I got up here this morning and lifted the tote, it's pretty much completely dry except for maybe a gallon of syrup. So since yesterday, 10 honey producing colonies have sucked down almost 75 pounds of syrup. Like I mentioned, we have rain coming, so I've set the lid back on, and then I've gapped it open on the other side here. And then I also used that white poly stake and removed a lot of the hay that I had on top. You can still see there's bees cleaning up the syrup that's on the hay. And I'll give you a quick peek in here. They are just cleaning. So very good to see that. Okay, So my conclusion after doing this was that in an emergency situation, if you don't have time to feed your hives and your hives desperately need fed, this may work for a day or two to hold them off until you can get to them. I am not so sure that I would fall back on this for my winter feeding regimen, just because of the expense. Doing an open feeding like this, other bees in the area do get the SERP. So while you're feeding them, the money you're spending on SERP could be going towards your bees only. So individual feeders for the hives, each hive, is still the best method to prepare and build up food stores, in my opinion, although the open feeding did work successfully and there was no robbing back at the hives. Now, the reason there was no robbing back at the hives is the distance between the hives and the open feeding. I went at a distance of 150 yards and I didn't have any issues. So, that being said, that's my thoughts. I hope you'll take time and subscribe to my channel down below if you haven't done so. And please take time to like the video, give me a thumbs up, it'd be appreciated. And we'll be seeing you here soon in another video. Thanks for watching, folks.